Hi, welcome to my channel where we question everything. Today's subject is a theory for Europe's high gas prices and its causes. I read a recent article by F. William Engdahl called the Europe's Energy Armageddon from Berlin and Brussels, and not Moscow. I will leave a link to the article in the message section of this video. In any case, this article prompted me to make this video and discuss a possible theory on why this whole energy crisis in Europe has developed. Basically, I know it's a cliche, but actually it's true. The world revolves around money, and you always have to follow the money trail if you want to find out really what is going on. And in any case, a long time ago, I saw a video about the English king. The movie was crap in any case, but that's not the point. His advisors always insisted that he should meet foreign leaders, and his function with the foreign leaders was to discuss new business opportunities and improve relationships with these countries. Now, at the end of the day, the king's job was to ensure that there is enough business and flow between countries, that the people have work, and that they can feed themselves, and therefore don't riot. Yes, I know sometimes we talk about the leaders and politicians usually try to support the 1%, but that's not always true. At the end of the day, they have to keep the economy going. Otherwise, there's unrest and they lose their jobs. Or, in the old days, some kings lost their heads. In any case, so this is all part and parcel of the current American hegemony, or European as well. It's keeping the dollar dominant and as a reserve currency. That's important. Keeping wars going, or at least the threat of war, so they can sell arms and then keep the arms industry going. They can control the IMF and the World Bank in order to control smaller countries that are economically unstable and need usually assistance. But this method, looking at the draconian rules that these type of institutions imply, it keeps him into colonial slavery. In any case, what the article is basically about is the EU gas market deregulation. And that is the core principle of what the article tries to explain. Now, most of the gas that was used in Europe was usually by pipeline. And in a pipeline, it was usually based on long-term contracts, 10 years or longer. And that made a very stable energy situation or conditions in Europe, and industry could plan ahead and become very competitive. And even with it, the gas contracts price was usually tied to the oil price, and by this means the gas prices were at least controlled in a certain sense. Now, this type of control, long contracts, has I would say a limiting ability to make money. And at the end of the day, the financial institutions in America and London, as well as the banks in these type of countries, they are greedy, as we all know, and they want to make money. So how do they do that? That is by breaking the long-term contracts that are in place for gas. And this is what they did, well, according to the article. So before 2010, the UA began to push a radical change in the rules of pricing of natural gas. They tried to move away from contract gas prices and move more to the spot prices. The spot prices are like on an auction, or it's a daily varying type of price. People always believe, in good times, excuse me, the price will be low, and then sometimes the prices will be high, but on average they will balance each out and you will get a fair deal. unfortunately, well, in 2016, the Americans changed their energy export legislation, and now America could actually export LNG gas and oil and stuff like that, which was a result of the boom of the fracking industry. And they started by the building LNG terminals. At the same time, well, export terminals. At the same time, Europe started to build LNG import terminals. So it was more or less at the same time. So at that stage already, they decided to import some of the LNG. Now, I can understand that. They got most of their gas from Russia. And it was past 2014, the coup in Ukraine and Crimea and all the other stuff that goes with it. So they would have liked to diversify the supply lines. In any case, but at the same time, in 2016, the European Union forced Gazprom, who owns most of the pipelines in Europe, to allow other suppliers to use the same network of pipes in order to distribute. And then, unfortunately, while Gazprom had to comply with that request. So, at the same time, at that time, the Brussels and so on created an independent price system parallel to the Russian pipeline, which was long-term contracts. And they created a fully deregulated market by creating virtual gas trading hubs, and where banks and financial institutions could sell and buy gas contracts, future gas contracts on the spot market. Now, since that was between various industries, it was highly unregulated and government had no oversight of it. And the best known, in 2020, the best known virtual hub for gas trading is the Dutch TTF, the Title Transfer Facility, where basically these things are traded. And if sometimes future prices are quoted in the news and so on, that is what basically you will hear from. So this was the one side. Well, in 2021, about only 20% of the natural gas imports to the EU was LNG. The rest was still pipeline. And this resulted that in 2021, the EU states actually paid a $30 billion penalty cost due to the difference between the spot prices and the long-term gas prices. So, so what was the objective? In order to, the spot market can be controlled and manipulated, same as the oil market, but the long-term pipeline contracts couldn't be. So how do they proceed to gain the advantage? And well, according to the article, they systematically tried to destroy pipeline supply lines to Europe. So in August 2021, the EU broke diplomatic ties with Morocco, and this influenced the Algerian Maghreb Europe gas pipeline, which ceased to operate in October 21st of 2021. In September 2021, Gazprom completed the multi-billion-dollar Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, but that was never certified, so it was never got into production, and so on. And then there was the Yamal Russian gas pipeline through Belarus and through Poland to Germany. And in December 2021, 2 months before the Ukrainian special operation conflict type of started, Polish government closed the Polish part of the pipeline, cutting Gazprom gas deliveries to Germany. And then Poland got their gas from Germany, who got it via different methods from Russia again. And then they paid a premium for that. So in any case, in May 2022, due to the conflict in Ukraine, Kiev closed the line, the Soyuz gas pipeline through Ukraine, and that shut off another part of the gas supply line. And then finally, Nord Stream 1 started to develop technical issues, mostly due to a lack of maintenance on the turbines that were used, due to the sanctions that were introduced by Canada on Russia, which was a nice excuse, and Siemens couldn't return those and now it has stopped all gas supplies to Germany. And also, just a little bit going back, in January 2020, Gazprom started sending gas through the Turk Stream pipeline through Turkey and onto Bulgaria and Hungary. And in March this year, Bulgaria cut its gas supplies from the Turk Stream. So as you can now see, a lot of the pipe supplies, gas supplies have been stopped. And this created a huge energy crisis in Europe. And that reflected in the daily price of the futures gas price on the Dutch TTP. And if you look at the rising in gas prices from last year, gas prices have been about 1,000% higher than a year ago. All right, so one can sort of see a pattern, and I think that is what the article tried to convey. Now, unfortunately, I'm a skeptical person, and we question everything. And I also believe that the world is a lot more complex. And this article basically is a simplified version of selective facts in order to advance a certain view. If the Americans really want to try and sell their gases to Europe, they have a limited capacity, and I think the maximum that they can actually do is about 15% of Europe's energy demands. And because most of the gas and oil is derived from fracking, and fracking is a highly reductive type of industry where certain supply lines are only temporary and last for about a year or two, maybe 3 years, and then the wells dry up, and then they have to drill new holes. Well, I'm not sure how long America will think that they can export the gas to Europe. So that's not really a viable option. There are some pipelines that were envisaged from Niger across the Sahara Desert right into Europe. But there are some technical differences due to the security issues and the terrorists in that area. Then there's the Israel-Cyprus type of pipeline they were considering, but that's also not an option because Turkey wants a share of the pipeline, and Greece wants some part of it, and so there's some political problems. And then there's another pipeline that was envisaged as a possible supply, and that was from Kazakhstan, Armageddon, and then across the Caspian Sea, and then to Europe. But the problem is that due to a certain agreement, Russia controls everything that goes over the Caspian Sea. So there will be some political issues as well. So what else is there really? Then the only other supply line that can be done is from Norway, those gas lines, pipelines, and so on. And that has a little small influence. There's a possible gas field and pipeline they wanted to introduce in Denmark. But generally, I don't see any, if they want to cut themselves off of gas pipeline gas and move to LNG, that's going to be a no-no. Not going to happen. There are not enough ships. The building of LNG terminals take between 4 and 5 years. The biggest suppliers in the world are Russia, Iran, Qatar, and they have formed a certain cartel, something very similar to the OPEC cartel. And together with some of their partners, the smallest gas suppliers, they control about 75% of all gas. So I'm not sure that this whole thing or this theory is really a valid type of theory. There are so many other factors that will influence us. that it will in any case keep the price high. And due to the sanctions on Russia and the one-sided terminations of gas supplies and gas contracts in order to go onto a spot market, I'm not sure that I would really support this type of conspiracy theory. Yes, I do believe that some people try to make money, that they had tried to create this type of situation and the spot pricing system and the Dutch TTP and so forth and so on. But it's not the whole picture. It's only a part of the energy problem and the gas supplies. Okay. So I'll leave it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, press the like button. And if you want to see some more videos, subscribe to my channel. It only takes a second. Thank you.